Throughout millennia, ancient civilizations around the globe left their mark on history, building supermassive structures that defy any logical explanation. Our ancestors made sure to remain ever-present in history books by creating these precisely engineered megalithic structures for advanced purposes we still lack the knowledge and understanding to discover. Today, we admire and research the incredible monuments built thousands of years ago, trying to answer some of the most important historical questions. How did civilization develop? How they managed to transport massive stones weighing up to 100 tons? And why so many monuments are similar in design, yet in continents who weren't connected in any way? But perhaps the most critical question we have failed to address is, what if there was a higher purpose to these ancient structures? And what if these striking structures were constructed not randomly, but were strategically positioned around the globe? Have you ever noticed that some ancient monuments appear to be connected? If you take a look at the world map and look at the position of ancient monuments, you'll notice that some of them can easily be connected with straight lines, almost as if the ancient builders used advanced forms of geometry and mathematical equations carved into stone, making already breathtaking monuments ever more mysterious. Many authors have asked and failed to answer why the ancient Egyptians built the pyramids of Giza. To be honest, we can't even be sure that the pyramids were even built by the Egyptians, since they're not mentioned in any ancient Egyptian writing, and recent evidence suggests they are far older than previously thought, perhaps built by some lost ancient civilization, far more advanced than anything we can even imagine. How were all of these massive monuments around the world erected, and how did these ancient beings manage to place the Great Pyramid of Giza at the exact center of all landmass on Earth? Did you know that the east-west parallel that crosses the most land and the north-south meridian that crosses the most land intersect in two places on the Earth, one in the ocean and the other at the Great Pyramid of Giza? How this was possible without the ability to fly or any other technological tool? How did the ancients manage this without the ability to know how the world's landmass looked like at that time? The pyramids, specifically those found at Giza, are an amazing achievement of several sciences together. Geometry, physics, and mathematics all combined to form monuments that have stood the test of time. For example, the weight of the Great Pyramid of Giza is estimated at 5,955,000 tons. Multiplied by 10^8 gives a reasonable estimate of the Earth's mass. If we were to recreate the Great Pyramid of Giza today, we would have difficulties doing so, despite our knowledge and machinery. This fact alone makes the pyramids of Giza a true ancient marvel. We don't want to take away credit to the ancient man who built incredible structures like the pyramids, but did they really manage this with sticks and stones? Or, as some authors suggest, did they possess far more advanced technology than we are willing to accept? I can't help to wonder if there is a slight chance that somehow ancient cultures all over the world were somehow connected, either through a global consciousness or another global phenomenon that helped point them in a single direction, which resulted in the construction of countless ancient sites that look extremely similar, as if it was a construction process on a global scale. Almost as if every single culture on our planet felt the need to place monuments such as the pyramids, the Stonehenge, Teotihuacan, and other incredible places in specific locations. What these ancient civilizations did was create a pattern that we today are identifying and connecting, forming a massive puzzle piece by piece. Many authors wonder if it is possible that these ancient monuments were not placed randomly, but aligned perfectly, with a great precision, for a higher purpose we still haven't discovered. There is a global phenomenon that has existed, ignored by many for thousands of years on Earth. An alignment between ancient sites, built thousands, if not tens of thousands of years ago, tells us how sophisticated ancient cultures actually were. These ancient sites not only align with themselves, they also align with the stars. It seems that there is a forgotten rule that dictates, the more ancient, the more precise. The more ancient, the more similar. There are numerous sites on Earth that show a correlation with the stars. You only have to look at the pyramids of Giza, Ollantaytambo, Nazca Lines, Easter Island, and others to cite this breathtaking connection that tells an incredible story ignored by millions. You won't read about these alignments in history books. Can the placements of these sites be attributed to mere coincidence? Were these sites placed randomly by the ancients? Or is it possible that ancient civilizations such as the Egyptians, the Maya, Olmec, Inca, and others that existed before them placed their cities, temples, and monuments on specific locations on the surface of Earth, creating an incredible global connection that has only recently been discovered by researchers? A new theory suggests that the spiritual connection of Earth is held together inside by a tetrahedron of energy, toroidal vortex flow, and that the pyramids are located at the points where the tetrahedron meets with the Earth's surface. This could explain exactly why the pyramids around Earth are located in their exact positions as a way to amplify and harness the spiritual energies of the planet. The tetrahedron is known as a closed isometric crystal form and utilized in crystal field theory as the second most common complex, where four molecules form a tetrahedron around a metal ion, which has been used to account for some magnetic properties of transition metal complexes. In other words, the tetrahedral symmetry of the Earth's magnetic field might account for pyramid location around the world. Geomagnetic anomalies like the Sedona vortex, the zone of silence, the Bermuda Triangle, and the Devil's Triangle have sparked further research in an attempt to discover why these areas across the globe behave the way they do. Ancient astronaut theorists point towards the so-called world grid or the Earth grid. This theory maintains that ancient civilizations around the globe purposely constructed their monuments on energy lines that, when mapped and connected, create a significant pattern, as if when connected, they form a sort of energy web. The whole idea of the world grid is that the Earth is like a huge crystal where the energy flows around through little nodules. Energy paths intersect and move all over the world. In fact, before the ancient astronaut theory came into existence thousands of years ago, an ancient Greek philosopher took the first steps to identify specific locations on Earth. Plato was one of the first to propose the basic structure of the Earth, evolved from geometric shapes now known today as platonic solids. What Plato did was extremely interesting because he described the Earth as being created from 12 pentagonal faces and 20 vortexes on the surface. When you take all of them, join them, and go on the map and mark them, you realize that there are geometrical formations that appear among them. Everything becomes connected. In fact, Plato wrote that there was a world soul, which he described as a sphere that was composed of 120 equal identical triangles. Some researchers and scientists today believe that this could be applied to the Earth. Is it possible that hidden in these patterns is a secret energy source, a form of technology that could have helped the ancient civilizations build their monuments, a proof that the Earth grid actually exists and that we can harness free energy from it, just like Nikola Tesla stated possible? Thanks to our advanced science and technology today, we are aware of the electromagnetic field and certain energies that reside in the Earth. But thousands of years ago, how could the ancients have known this? And if they did know about certain frequencies and energies, did they really build monuments to maybe harness certain energies? What we see today is evidence of a higher consciousness present in ancient civilizations. These ancient civilizations knew that if they placed their monuments in specific locations, they could connect to the so-called energy grid. Many ancient cultures believed that everything would come into flow if they placed their monuments on specific planned locations. This was practiced by almost all ancient cultures we know of, from the Mayas, ancient Egyptians, to civilizations in Mesopotamia and Asia. Another fascinating alignment is the Great Circle alignment. Did you know that ancient sites like Easter Island, Nazca Lines, Atlanta Tambo, Paratori, and the pyramids of Giza are all aligned on a single great circle? There is a remarkable connection among ancient structures that is indicative of a far greater meaning than we were aware of. If that's not enough to make you wonder, then what about the incredible alignments of ancient structures with star constellations? For at least 10,000 years, human beings have been observing the movement of the stars, studying the heavens, constructing calendars, and erecting monuments to track the precession of the constellations and heavenly bodies across the sky. Many ancient cultures share the belief that we came from the stars. Perhaps this is why a great amount of time, effort, and energy has been put into the study of the celestial bodies from ancient times right up through today. Several constellations and stars have played an important role in ancient mysteries and mythology surrounding the celestial origins of our species. In the places where these legends emerge, we find structures that correlate with the position of these stars and constellations in the sky. What were our ancient predecessors trying to tell us with this information? The constellation of Orion is one of the most prominent and recognizable constellations in the sky, as its location on the celestial equator allows it to be seen all over the planet. It was of central importance to many ancient cultures, as alignment with the position of the stars matches up precisely to various ancient structures, from the pyramids at Giza to those found at Teotihuacan in central Mexico. We know from ancient Egyptian texts, which are among the oldest religious writings in the world, that the ancient Egyptians believed that the gods descended from the belt of Orion and from Sirius in the form of humanoid beings. This is critically important to Egyptian cosmology, as Orion was associated with the god Osiris and Sirius was associated with the goddess Isis, who together are said to have created the whole of human civilization. The three pyramids at Giza are some of the most mysterious, perplexing, and magnificent ancient structures in the world. Together, they demonstrate the concept of sacred alignment as they form a precise three-dimensional map of the stars in the belt of Orion onto the ground. Their size and placement also takes into account both the visible brightness and location of the stars within Orion's belt, as the two larger pyramids are lined up perfectly with the constellation. Located in the highlands of central Mexico, 35 miles northeast of present-day Mexico City, lies the ruins of the ancient city of Teotihuacan. Another marvel of the ancient world, with ties to star constellations. Archaeologists and scholars debate the age of the site, although it is generally agreed upon that the city flourished for at least 500 years before it completely collapsed by the 7th century of the Common Era. The city was one of the largest in the world at its peak, with an approximate population of 150,000 to 200,000 people. Despite the fact that the city predated the Aztecs by several centuries, they called it Teotihuacan, meaning the place of the gods, as they believed that it was the place where the current world was created. Like many sacred sites from the ancient world, the observatories, pyramids, and structures at Teotihuacan are constructed mirroring celestial alignments. The complex at Teotihuacan contains 3 pyramids, 2 larger and 1 smaller, boasting a similarity to the layout of the pyramids at Giza and forming another correlation to the belt of Orion. The Pyramid of the Sun is said to be aligned with the Pleiades, another constellation of great importance in myth and lore that is often connected to the constellation of Orion. Another interesting thing about Teotihuacan is the fact that it depicts our solar system with great precision. Also, some people believe that the site is extremely similar to a circuit board. Almost all of the ancient structures around the world align with the stars, starting from the pyramids of Giza, going all the way to Mexico, in the ancient city of Teotihuacan, going north to the layout of the ancient Native American Hopi villages in the American Southwest. The natural structure of the 3 mesas mirrors the 3 stars in the belt of Orion, and it is said that this is why the Hopi chose to settle in this location. And all the way to northern England, in the Thornborough Henges, a Neolithic landscape complex dating to between 3500 and 2500 BC also aligns with the constellation. What do you think is the explanation of why are all of these ancient monuments so similar in their makeup and architecture? Why are they aligned with each other, and why are they aligned with the stars? Let us know your theories in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. And if you're new, press subscribe and the bell next to it for future notifications.